What's up, guys? Here back with another video. In this one, I want to talk about changing your reward system. What do I mean by that? Change your reward system when it comes to food. Because a lot of times, people would eat food not because they're hungry, not because they actually have a taste for something. But a lot of times, people, I know you hear the terms, oh, I had a bad day, or something like that. So they feel like they deserve something to help soothe the pain. That's like a comfort food. Or even on the opposite end of that, they got a raise, or they got something happen, they done won something, or, something good happened to them, they want to celebrate. Sometimes you'll hear go out for drinks, but a lot of times it's not just drinks. They go out and it's not really healthy food that they consume. And people don't realize if they actually were to go day by day and add up all the times that they were eating food unnecessarily, not necessarily because they were hungry, especially if you're on a fitness journey, your weight loss or whatever, you don't realize how many times you actually sabotage things. Something happens, you feel bad, maybe a loved one passed, or you're going through a breakup, or whatever the case may be. To make yourself feel better, you go out, I'm gonna go get an abundance of my favorite food, not even just like a regular portion. I'm gonna just overindulge. I'm not calling anybody else specifically, but shit, I was guilty of that too. I could sit there, especially after a hard workout, I would reward myself like maybe an hour or two later. I'll eat a whole stuffed crust pepperoni pizza. A large. They only come in large, I believe, or at least at the time they did. A whole large stuffed crust pepperoni pizza, and I wash it down with a Four Loko. Sabotaging my gains at the gym. I ain't doing nothing. I did all that work in the gym, and I just went and fucked it up. So, trust and believe, I understand. When people are like, oh man, I feel good, man. I really put in work today. Let me go, I don't know if you go get tacos, pizza, a whole bunch of Chinese food or Italian food. You go get a whole thing of lasagna, or maybe a big ass Five Guys burgers, or a couple of them, whatever the case may be. We got to get out of the mindset. I know society itself has trained us to believe, when you achieve something good, we go celebrate by going out eating all the time or getting drinks. Nothing really beneficial, to your health. And so we've been basically indoctrinated over time, and that's automatic. We don't even think about it. That's just the first go-to. That's just the norm. You mention something like that, people are like, oh yeah, where you going? Something, they're all in because, not to say you can never do that, but we do it a lot more than we think we do. So then you're wondering why you can never lose weight. Just think of all the times you're just bored. You're just sitting there watching a show or something. You watch a couple episodes, you go grab something. You're not really hungry, but you just need something to occupy you as you're watching, your show. Or, you do that to cheer other people up too. And then you get engaged and overeating and stuff like that. Even to the point to where you're actually full, but you don't want to waste any food. Hey, I paid for it. I might as well finish the rest. You're already full, but you're just going to force down the rest so you make sure you got your money's worth. Things like that. We don't really realize until we actually take note. When you start tracking your calories, trust and believe, you will see a big world of difference. So, I just want y'all to just be more aware of how much you're actually overeating. When you start tracking your calories, it's all gonna show, because now you see the math behind the weight that you're gaining or trying to lose, and you're staying stagnant. You wonder why, it's not working. Start tracking your calories. Change your reward system. Every time something good or every time something bad happens, food isn't the answer. Maybe you have some hobbies or something. Maybe you can go do something that's going to help you towards your goal. Let's just say if you're a guy, if you're a size 40 waist, hey, I'm going to go buy these pants that's like a size 36. I'm going to celebrate by go buying this outfit, because I know eventually that's going to motivate me to work towards that. Something, just think outside the box, something other than food. Something you like to do. Maybe, hop on a video game session or something. You're not eating yourself, bigger because you want to feel comfortable or celebrate. Just something to think about.